Hey, what's up? It's me coming back again, and I'm showing y'all how to do a quick little clutch change on a TTR 125. All right, first up, here's the tools you'll need. You'll need an 8mm of some sort. I like a T-handle because I can just get in there and bust in that real quick. And then I got a 17. Then we got a 19, just in case for any other. I love my little electric ratchet wrench right here. If you don't have one of these, get one AC. First step, you're gonna want to take this Kickstarter nut off. It's a 17mm. After you get that done, she ought to just pull right off. And then you want to come in here with a 5mm Allen key and undo the rear brake lever. There is a pin behind it, just like this. You want to take that off before you remove the nut and just put this aside. Then you're going to want to grab your 8mm, crack all of them loose. Make sure everything is clean. Just bust them all free. If you don't have one of these, you should really get one.
Yeah. I'm gonna do every single one of your bolts.
We've got our clutch sitting here, soaking in oil. You want to let your clutch soak for about a couple hours. Then I've also gotten this clutch kit from Magnum. Here's the part number right there. And I also got a gasket. And you want to consider anything like seal-wise that you want to do. If you want to replace the Kickstarter shaft seal, go ahead and get that. All right, let's get into it. All right, so now that all our bolts are loose, what I like to do is I like to make like a little diagram of all these little bolt holes and just take one bolt out at a time and put it right into a box just like that, so you cannot lose order of your bolts. All right, so now that we have our bolts put away, we can just come back over to the clutch cover and we can just simply just give a little wiggle. Just wiggle that thing loose up and out. And just like that, clutch cover could come off. And now we don't have to be scared to flip it over to lose any bolts because we've put them all right here. Now check it there. Now check that out. It looks awesome in there as usual. This gasket looks like it could be reused, but we went ahead and bought another one. Like I said, if you want to go ahead and prepare for this job, get your clutch cover gasket, and go ahead and just get your Kickstarter shaft seal while you're here and replace that.
After they're all busted free, we can go ahead and put that.
So what you're going to want to do when you pull this hub out, you might as well just grab it by the plates like that and give it that lift. It'll come out a little easier for you. And just inspect everything in here, make sure we have no grooves from the clutch plates hitting. This basket looks pretty good. All right, let's take this over to the table, set it down on a clean, stale rag, and just examine the plates, how they're arranged. We got a fiber placed first, and then we got metal after each fiber. Inspect each plate. You can measure it with a mic or a caliper to see if it's within the spec, but I know this one's burnt. All right, so after everything is thoroughly inspected, we can now move on to our clutch plates. All right, so the reason why I wanted to do this video so bad is because I saw a few things with the clutch plates that just really confused me, and I just wanted to make sure I was doing it right and not show any rookie footage on here. But you see that little offset on there, how it's just like not symmetrical all the way around. It's got a little node, and then also there's a little arrow on the clutch disc, but I'll show you all that first. If you look at the arrow down here, you're supposed to put it with that arrow right there in line like that, you know, so the arrow meets up with that one. I don't know if you can see that, but boom, it's all directional. None of the videos show any of this. If you look at this clutch plate, it's not symmetrical. There's a little offset right there, and what you need to do is you need to set those 90 degrees apart. So if we're gonna have the first one facing up, you need to have the second one 90 degrees like that, and the next one 90 degrees. And then the next 90 degrees. All right, we can go and open our bag up, and what we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna pull out our clutch plate, and it goes fibers first. And then it goes metal plate. All right, so we got our fiber disc in. All right, so we're gonna install that offset little notch right at the top so it's easier for us to clock it. So there's that one right there. Let's go ahead and add our other friction plate. And we gotta remember, we put that notch at the top. And then we're gonna go ahead and throw our friction plate down, and then we're gonna also remember our little notch is up at the top right now, so we want to move it 90 degrees like that. Come in, you're gonna bring our friction plate back, We've already flipped it 90 degrees once. So the last one was like that. So we're gonna flip it 90 degrees again. Add another friction plate. And then we're gonna remember, we added our last steel plate like this, so we're gonna wanna flip it again 90 degrees. Just like that. Then we're gonna add another friction plate. And look at that. It's all together. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and pick up our outer hub, and we wanna look at these arrows. You remember these arrows I was talking about? You want it to correspond with that arrow on the inner basket right there. So it's gonna go with it, just like that. It'll correspond. We just wanna make sure our arrow is corresponding with the arrow inside of there, which it is.
Let's go and throw our strings in. Boop. Boop.
So you're gonna want to torque them down to 5 pounds. It doesn't take much at all. Just check them all out. But yeah, those are good. And this one right here, it's about 4.5 pounds on that nut. I don't want to take that off though. You do not need to take that nut off to do this job. You have to scrape up all the gaskets and clean the surfaces and put the cover back on. After you got your surfaces clean, what I like to do is pull up the little dowels and just add the smallest little dab of anti-seize on there. I want to put it in the case, the engine side of the case, just like that. And that way they won't just seize up or nothing, and it'll just come right apart next time. So we got our gasket laid out. There's also this little screen stuffed off into that little crevice down there. Make sure it's cleaned off. There's a little bit of debris and soot on here. We can wash that off real quick. And that actually goes right up under the gasket right there. So we just want to make sure our gasket's on the dowel pins with a little anti-seize on each end, just to make sure everything lines up very well. All right, now that we've got a really clean surface, we can go ahead and grip our cover just like this, and we're gonna wanna try to slip it over that little Kickstarter shaft. And right now we have the kick shaft sorta in there. We're gonna wanna just kinda just wiggle it down and drop it right onto our dowels. And we should be golden just like that, and it's all flush. Now we're gonna come over to our little bolt organizer thing that we made. And we're just gonna
Be able to easily match every bolt up. You know what I mean. We like to work a little faster up here, so we're gonna make it as easy as possible for all of us.
All right, so on the clutch cover bolts, you're supposed to torque it down to 7.2 foot-pounds, but I'm gonna just go to a 7.5 just for safe measures. You just wanna go in there and knock every single one out. Again, that is 7.2 foot-pounds on each bolt down here. All right, so now we're ready to install our Kickstarter. We just wanna go ahead and just slide her onto the spline shaft there. Just like that, to where it's not smacking the case or doing anything funny. And we're gonna take our little 19mm nut, go ahead and slide it on there. This nut wants to go down to 36 foot-pounds. There you go. All right, now it's time to reinstall the brake. What I like to do is I like to figure out where the spring lines up, which is clearly this little hole where my thumb is. To the brake, I'm gonna go ahead and put my spring on the brake lever, throw it over the foot peg, go ahead and just knock it out and get that spring hooked up before I bolt anything together. And then we got a straight shot for that bolt hole, so we're gonna just slide it in there. All right, so once you've got that bolt tightened up, we're gonna wanna take our little cotter pin and we're gonna wanna stick it in the back of our bolt so we don't ever lose it. All right. Well, so now that's all done and it's all put back together where we started. What you're gonna wanna do is put the bike back up on its side and put a quart of oil in it. Actually a whole quart. There's 1,000 cc's in a quart. Well, flip the bike up and put the oil in and you're ready to go. All right, so you're just gonna wanna pour up. The maximum capacity for this funnel is 500 cc's, so I'll have to do that twice.
Go ahead and get our fluids and just dump it on in there.
Once you can just put that much in there and then just check for any leaks or anything suspicious going on. But for me, we're golden. Let's do that again. Just fill it on up. And you see, look at there, we got about 1,000 cc's in a quart. Alright, so you're gonna want to be very easy on your clutch. Just ride it around probably like a tank of gas, just going easy. Don't be doing wheelies or any burnouts or abusing the clutch right now. Alright, now that we've got all our oils put in, we can go ahead and just cap her off, and that's it, folks. That is how you change the clutch in a TTR 125 the right way. Like and subscribe. Hope y'all enjoyed.